This is a Do You Validate podcast.
If you can make it in the Riff Tank, they'll give you the green light, and you can even walk away with your life.
I need a captivating story with characters on the fly.
I know this better be good. I wanna die. In the Riff Tank, this is stressing me out. Oh God, I hope this is good. Because I don't wanna die. In the Riff Tank. Would you not interrupt the theme song?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Riff Tank. My name is Joel Ruiz, and I'll be your host, joined with my two co-hosts, Tamara and Zach. We're very excited to be here, but we don't have time to talk because the clock has started.
Oh, no.
See? I told you, it's anxiety-inducing.
Scary.
Great. So, Riff Tank is a brand new podcast from the Do You Validate Network. These are my two co-hosts. Every week we'll be coming up with a brand new idea because the writer's strike, even though it did happen, we're still scabbing. Yeah. We don't want anybody to get credit or money. We'll get started. Everybody, as you already know, we have our producer here. He's very angry.
Hello, Shark.
Yeah. Which one of you would like to spin the genre wheel to see?
Go for it, Zach. Ladies first.
Yeah.
Get it?
You gotta give it a good.
I thought, yeah.
There we go. Okay, it landed on fantasy.
Fantasy.
I have great penmanship. All right, so we'll be working in the fantasy genre. And
Okay.
each of us, from the smallest bowl I could find, because I don't understand size dimensions, and my newest one didn't get here. We each draw one prompt.
I just know so many sad goldfish have passed away in this.
Like I swear to God, I looked at the dimensions. And I was like, this is big enough.
Tiny.
And then I got this. I was like, what a shitty fucking bowl I got. Oh. Okay, great. So we got prompts submitted from our Patreons over at Do You Validate, and we'll each read our prompt off, and we'll decide. We can use one or all. If we don't want to use one, we'll put it back in the bowl, so someone else will be forced to do it again. Tomorrow we'll let you start off.
Read it?
Yeah, read it off. And
Pride and Prejudice. A classic romance between Dr. Jekyll and his other half.
ooh,
Given by Liz T.
Liz T. Okay, great. Zach.
The Purge, but for kids. From Brittany P.
Okay.
I like that one.
The Purge, that's a good one. Lord of the Swings, a swing dancing epic tale of bringing swing dancing back as grand as the tale of Lord of the Rings, from Allie T.
That one's good, too.
These are all pretty good ones.
I'm feeling Purge for kids.
Yeah.
Purge for kids, honestly, I think
Purge are us.
is a great first episode.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you to Allie T. and who?
And Liz T.
Liz T. Oh, maybe
All
they're
from
related.
the same family.
Brittany P.
Brittany P. I do know their full names, but I don't want to dox anybody.
Good. That makes one of us.
They pay us. So if you submit and don't pay, I will dox you.
I love doxing on podcasts.
You love doxing?
That's my...
Dox somebody later.
I love
you got to pull yours out. We're doing that one.
Okay.
God damn it, Zach. Look, he's so mad.
And we're running out of time.
Look at that. It's a literal, we got a 24-hour.
How could you forget the Purge for kids?
But for
We just
kids.
don't want to put it back, so we can't, or we could actually do the whole series is just, because they have multiple purges.
They do.
They
So
do,
we
yeah.
really could just be Purge for kids again and again and again.
That'd be good.
Bring it back for the 4th of July theme.
Welcome to Purge for Kids, the podcast where we keep talking about kids. Okay, so here's the thing. We're in fantasy. So that's the genre we're working with. Purge for kids. Mm-hmm. Do we want to just go like it's part of the Purge series? Or we're trying to play with the word purge? Because there's we could go purge as in, murder people, you got 12 hours free. Could be kids throwing up.
I feel like, for some reason, I think kids with eating disorders is a little darker to me
Than child murder?
than child murder. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. It's a little...
how brave.
That whole movie's
How
just going to
brave.
be from the toilet, and I don't quite want to see that movie.
Are we pitching the 17th installment of the Purge
Yeah.
movies to
Yeah.
Shark?
I will
Mr.
say,
Shark?
after how Tamara phrased eating disorders for kids.
Yeah.
It did make me feel bad for suggesting it.
No, don't. Hey, that's what this is for.
There's no such thing as a bad idea.
No such thing as a bad idea.
Let's put bulimic kids on the shelf for later.
Hey, no failure, only feedback. And my feedback for that bulimic kid idea, bad.
Let's move on from that. We could have a kid throw up in this thing.
We have to a little smoking gun.
Yeah, like a little nod to the camera.
Maybe that's the Chekhov's gun. Is this one kid in the beginning is throwing
Just
up?
kind of like, oh god, I know we're about to purge.
He's gone the entire time. Then at the end of the movie, maybe his vomit is what saves the day.
Oh, that's like in the
Home
third
Alone
act.
style,
Yeah.
slips on the vomit down the stairs.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. You want to start with a good ending.
You start with the end and you work your way back. Okay, so this is I think this is
An installment
in the Purge series. That's A24, right? Do they do that?
No way.
Who does Purge?
A24 is gonna sue you.
Who's the it's all done by the same production company, right?
Also, after I said it, I do feel like that is kind of the idea of Home Alone.
What?
Yeah.
The Purge movies combined like with a kids movie.
No, this is gonna be different.
I know we have to like really
we're
up
doing
the
it
genre
different.
because we have to make it fantasy. We have to make it fantastical.
I will say, what really kills in a movie is like an older actor little appearance. Especially, this is for kids, so the kids won't know it, but we do need to get Macaulay Culkin in here. As like a little, not even main character, he can be a little guest.
And maybe he's in a mask, and then at one point he takes it off. All the parents in the movie theater are like, "Oh my god, it's Macaulay!"
I thought you were gonna say people love in movies when they say the name of the movie, where someone in the movie's like, "It's like The Purge, but for kids."
People do love that too.
They also love that.
We will have someone directly into the camera.
I did forget, actually, a part of Riff Tank is we are under threat of death.
What?
I forgot. Because I thought about kids dying, and then,
Naturally.
Our childhood's already long dead, but our lives are on the line. Once again, we have the countdown clock.
That's some time off the clock.
Yeah, 7 minutes in already. And so our producer has enlisted the help from patrons as well. Once again, you can submit prompts or causes of death if you're a Do You Validate patron for Riff Tank. And this one is awful, honestly. I hate this.
Okay, good
waving
start.
to someone who you thought was waving to you, but they weren't waving to you, but they were waving to the person behind you until you die of embarrassment. Like actual death. Like, so it just keeps happening again and again and again.
Can I be honest? For me, that's 3 times.
Yeah. Once you're like, oh, okay, that person, then you're like, okay, I'm just going to
That is 3 times for me.
lay down in the street. And that was from Jesse. So thank you so much, Jesse.
Jesse, seek help. That was
Yeah,
fucked.
Jesse, how often is this happening to you?
Jesse's just crying at all times. They don't go out in public.
Yeah, they don't wave.
They don't wave.
They don't hug.
So they did a nod once and they didn't get a nod back, and they're like, well,
You know what's something I think about? I'll make this quick because I know we're running out of time. One time
run down that clock.
One time my orthodontist, oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. He like had his hand up like I thought he was trying to hug me. He kept standing like this looking at me. And I gave him a hug, and then I knew him kind of well. And then he was like trying to reach or something. He was like trying to get the attention of his receptionist behind him. And I think about that every night when I have a hard time falling asleep.
Yeah. I one time was in line for this museum activity at the Creative Discovery Museum in Chattanooga.
Already embarrassing.
I was a child. I was a child at this time.
Good. So where do you were a fucking geek?
And somebody was counting people as they came in, and they were like, had a pencil that they were pointing at people, and I thought they were trying to hand me the pencil, and I reached for it, and then they were like, oh, this is for you. I was like, no, I was just doing this, and I told them I was just doing a
Sick
hand
recovery.
puppet.
Yeah,
And
that was slick. Honestly,
I was like 8.
did they buy it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think
And
so.
I once again also think about this all of the time.
Haunting.
And wish, I feel like if I could go back in time, it would just be like, don't fuck, that pencil's not for you.
Haunting.
Like, just know.
Yeah.
That's never for you. I could say a lot of other things like, don't get addicted to cocaine. Heads up, it runs in your family. I could say it, but no. It's don't grab the pencil.
Yeah, I agree. I you're not supposed to have regrets in life, but that's a good regret.
That's a regret. Purge for kids, baby.
Purge for kids.
Purge for kids. We're back in it.
Fantasy. What if you know what else people love these days? Nepo babies.
Mm-hmm.
So what if all of the actors in this movie are children of already famous people?
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
And that gets us some pull there too, because
Yeah.
mom and dad are going to be pushing the money for the producers. Because we're talking. This is the thing about everything. We got to think about both sides. We got to think about what's going to be on screen, but also how do we push it? How do we, you know?
Yeah.
Republican, Democrat.
Yeah.
And also, that's perfect pitch to the shark. If the rich parents want their kids in the movie, that's how you can get some production money.
Yeah, that's true.
Right now.
You want to get your kids. You want to get your kids in the hottest new Purge movie.
Yeah, the first A24 Purge movie.
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
A24's doing fantasy.
And this also brings us to
They did Green Knight, and they're like, listen, a lot of slow scenes with didn't he comment? I didn't see it, but I hear he fucks in it, right?
Who?
yeah,
What
Dev-
movie?
Yeah, Dev
Patel.
Patel fucks in Green Knight.
I need to see Green Knight then. That's crazy.
They're like, listen, we did fantasy, the fucking was great. Now,
Yeah.
child murder.
Well,
Yeah.
casting decision. We already kind of talked about one of these people, but one of Tor and I's favorite subjects, Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song. Let's get their kids in there.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
That's actually perfect.
Okay.
Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song, and they have real kids. Because the child kids I'm thinking of are adults.
Yeah, you're thinking.
Yeah, like
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
Quaid. like
Jaden
playing
Smith.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Jaden
What's
Smith, and I'm like, that
what's
man's
the-
30.
What's the Hawk daughter that's in Stranger Things?
Yeah, Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawk.
Oh, she'll be good.
She'll be good. She'll be good. She was in Great and Do Revenge
Yeah.
with the woman from that played Veronica in Riverdale. Big Riverdale fan.
Big Riverdale.
I knew that when you mentioned the cocaine addiction.
I'm like, I followed it all.
I love fucking Cole Sprouse.
Makes sense.
The drama.
My pitch is to put Cole Sprouse in this
Damn.
so we can kill him.
Yeah. Okay.
I want his to be like Drew Barrymore Scream Death. Like he's the first
Yes.
like before Purge for Kids hits the screen title. I want Cole Sprouse dead.
In true
you know
Cole
what?
Sprouse fashion, I will be smoking a cigarette during this entire podcast indoors.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, Zach, please.
And you know what I'm thinking? We lead everyone to believe Cole Sprouse is a real protagonist in the movie through the
Oh.
trailers, and then
Yeah.
he dies before it even comes up. That way, people are pleased.
The whole press tour is Cole Sprouse.
Yeah.
Sprouse, whatever this fucking name is. Smoking cigarettes indoors. Like he also he doesn't enjoy smoking. Everything I've seen him do where he's smoking, I'm like, you don't like that. You're just
No,
like,
he's smoking like how I'm smoking, trying to talk to someone who's in a band after their show. I'm like, oh, a cigarette? I do these all the time.
Yeah.
Let me just wet it with my tongue first. This one's got a good crunch to it.
Yeah.
American Spirit, love.
Do you light in the middle? Oh, no, the front? Okay.
You should light it for me.
But yeah. So we put Cole Sprouse in.
Cool.
We think we do the whole press tour. Sprouse,
Sprouse.
lead actor. He's finally in an A24 movie. We've
Yeah.
been waiting for it.
And he has to wear elf ears the entire
I was
time.
just thinking that.
Because we're fans.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking everyone just kind of has elf ears.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really mention it because here's the thing. We have webisodes that really explain the lore.
I think we make a point about you know how nowadays like there'll be movies and there'll be like a gay character in the movie and everyone's like, oh, it's so great that movies can exist nowadays when this character being gay, it's not their whole plot line, it's just a part of who they are and there are other things to them. We do that with this, but fantasy.
You want that
Yeah.
with elf ears?
It's the first fantasy movie that it's not all about we don't have to dive into the fantasy.
We're not going in depth.
It's just they're just elves.
Yeah. I have a little necklace that lets me time travel, but it's not my entire personality.
Yeah, I'm an elf, but I also love to cook. But no one ever asked me about that.
Yeah.
They always ask me about my 3 toes.
I can weave a very light yet strong shirt, but you know what? That's not gonna come up.
Yeah.
Because I gotta kill other kids.
Instead of asking me about my pointy ears, you should be asking me, why are we having a purge but for kids?
This is also
good.
I like that you keep saying purge but for kids, and then we're saying purge for kids. I do think it should be purge, but for kids.
I agree.
that is in fact how it is right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do think that should be the title.
Purge.
Normally, we don't have to make the prompt the title, but I do think this is... Okay, now here's the thing.
I agree.
Is it Purge, but for kids, or is it Purge, but for kids? Like, is But for Kids the subtitle?
I'm feeling like the people we're trying to get to see our movie are going to see a semicolon and be furious. I feel like...
So we're doing semicolon?
And I'm one of those people.
Semicolon does feel more
Semicolon.
A24.
Semicolon, what, you think you're better than me?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't know if I used it right, but I know you're mad.
Semicolon, I want a fucking emoji in my movie title. I'm dumb.
So Purge, semicolon,
Yeah,
But for Kids.
That elicits.
Also, here's the other good thing, going back to the elf thing, where we don't really talk about it a lot, but it does let us do this, where we're casting a lot of Nepo actors who are, at this point, like 20s, even 30s, as we mentioned Riverdale. But they're elves.
Yeah.
So, they live a lot longer.
Like a vampire.
But yeah, so like it's not like 30, 35 for an elf. That's a wee baby.
Yeah.
And we have a couple because Macaulay Culkin and I was just going to call her London Tipton and Brenda Song's kids, they're children.
Yeah.
They're babies too.
Those kids are in fact children, yes.
But we can just pretend they're all the same age.
I think for this, I do think we should do, it's like kind of borrowing from Hunger Games where like, if you've done previous purges, you kind of get like that royalty status.
Yeah.
So I feel like Macaulay Culkin, we don't have the rights to Home Alone, so we allude to like how he was one of the first purgers. And back then, now it's kid on kid.
Yeah.
Purging.
Careful.
I'll put a little disclaimer here, talking about purging, not fucking. But before, it was kids versus adults purge.
Yeah.
So like adults are trying to kill the kids are trying to kill the adults. And I think for the longest time it was a sweep because I don't want to kill kids.
No.
But if I went up again, I would fucking murder some kids.
Yeah.
Like I love my niece to death, but it was between me and her. I could just kick her in the chest and she would be down. She's like 6.
Throwing haymakers.
Also, kids these days, they all have allergies.
Yeah. I just throw some
You don't even
peanut
gotta
dust.
get. I'm just walking around with peanuts, just throwing it.
Yeah.
Also, we could have a scene to allude, since we don't have the rights, Macaulay Culkin, he can be like, I gotta go out there, but I gotta disguise. I gotta use the fantasy mud. Yeah, we have fantasy mud, but also we have a library. It's not all about that stuff. He takes the mud to put it on his face to disguise himself. So he goes, to like his battle cry.
Yeah, that's his battle
but
cry.
it's a callback.
It's a callback
to
to
the
a
movie.
movie that we don't own the rights to, but we're definitely hinting
We're
at.
alluding to.
So I think, anyway, I do think, like, he's like, old Purge royalty.
Yeah.
And now it's Purge, kid versus kid. I'm not going to say kid on kid again.
Yeah.
I made that mistake
But
already.
listen, kid on kid, it's better than kid on adult.
I feel like
Kid on adult does sound, well, you know what? We
the
can stop with this
worst
part.
one, adult on kid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I was like, we don't need to go into
No,
all
I
of
knew I'm brave enough to say
Yeah.
it, is the thing.
Listen, I
I'm
have
trying to make the
is-
shark happy.
Yeah,
Brave
the
enough.
shark. The shark approves you speaking truth.
brave enough to pitch adult on kid.
That's what you get. That's what you get on the
Shark,
show.
how we feeling? Check in with the shark. How we
Shark,
feel?
how we feeling about adult on kid?
Ooh, speaking of adult on kid, but not in that way. Does Macaulay Culkin? Is it his real?
Shark likes adult on kid.
Maybe.
Like,
Man,
unfortunately,
just like most TV executives.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was working at Nickelodeon in the '90s with some other executives.
There's gonna be a lot of feet in this movie.
Oh, it's like 30% feet shots. We'll cut a lot of them,
Yeah.
but there will be a director's cut. That's the feet cut.
Lord of the Rings fantasy style. There's a lot of walking they gotta do without them shoes on.
That's true.
Get them little hobbit
So
feet in there.
he's J.R. Tolkien's just like, and the hobbits don't wear shoes. They got nasty little feet. They're so hairy.
Oh,
and they got
bunions.
calluses all over it.
They got bunions.
Ooh.
So, oh, sorry.
No. We can go back to.
No. Finish the J.R. Tolkien riff.
No, he was just him. He'd rather be jerking off to callous feet. Okay, yeah. So we got Macaulay Culkin signed on. Cole Sprouse is the fake lead.
Yeah.
And we can make it even set up to where it seems like Macaulay Culkin and Cole Sprouse are going to show down in it. Neither of them have a lot of screen time because they're too expensive.
Yeah, and they're old.
Yeah, they're old.
Oh
we
my
want to
God.
get those Nepo babies.
Yeah, they're thousands.
Look, I like the direction we're going. I think we should take it one step further. It was the adults who were sweeping. then they're like, hey, this isn't fair. We're going to make it kid against kid, not kid on kid.
Yeah, kid against.
Yeah,
versus.
and maybe these kids start to realize that, like, hey, they were taking us out, and now they're making us kill each other. What if we team up together against the adults, and we can kind of get some revenge going? And they wipe out. First act, they wipe out Cole Sprouse. Not because of the past hatred, but because they do not like his acting.
Because they're kids.
Yeah,
And
in
you're-
this world, he is Cole Sprouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who happens to be an elf.
That's amazing. And how since adults can kill the kids because they have so many allergies with just peanuts, kids can kill the adults by being like, hey, I'm non-binary. And then they just like, what? They just die right there.
I can't understand a new concept.
Hey, there's more than two genders. What? Their just head explodes.
Sorry, we miscounted the amount of kids rating because we kept hearing they, them. We thought there was a lot more.
I do think, so we open it up, and this is a nod to hating Cole Sprouse, which I feel like a lot of the movie is. This is kind of like a backdoor to just shitting on Cole Sprouse. But it is him getting interviewed. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's just like him, like, not enjoying a cigarette.
Yeah.
I read Nietzsche for the first time.
And then kids come in, swarm, murder.
That's great.
And because it's one of those, and then we like roll back, and it's just like
I love that.
like 12 hours earlier.
I love
But
that.
it is a 15-minute opening scene
15
in real time. Children
Yeah.
beating Cole Sprouse.
yeah.
And if you listen really closely, this will be like in the IMDb trivia. During Cole Sprouse's death scene, you can hear the theme song to Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, but playing on like an organ in the background.
Yeah.
This is the sweet life.
An orchestra version.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be. And then that when he dies, that plays.
And then it's Purge,
Purge, but for
semicolon,
kid- but for
kids. Yeah.
You just got slimed.
Okay, so we got the framework.
Okay, yeah, I'm liking that a lot.
We got to build out. So that's just like the opening, and then we have Macaulay Culkin gives a couple of speeches, and then Mud war cries, and Mud war cries when he realizes, the kids are now going after the adults.
Yeah.
So he has to get in the
Because
fray.
he's like the president in Hunger Games. He's been pulling, or like the guy in a Squid Game. Like he's been pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
But now it's coming back to get him.
And Macaulay Culkin is the perfect person to lead the adults because of the movie we are legally not allowed to actually say but allude to. He was the kid versus the adults, so he's been in their
Is Joe
position.
Pesci dead?
If he is, I didn't hear it.
Well, we'll bring him
I
back
don't
to
think
life in a
he's dead.
fantastical manner.
We could
if
do
he is.
hologram Joe Pesci,
hologram.
but I was thinking we get Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, who I also don't think is dead. But once again, hologram, if
Hologram.
not. We'll do like Star Wars style CGI,
Great.
Carrie Fisher kind of thing.
I don't know how he's not dead. He got electrocuted so hard you could see his skeleton.
Yeah. Well, just real quick to pause the podcast. You do know what movies are, Zach, right?
What?
Okay, moving on. We only got 37 minutes left. I can't get into this
We
with
can't
you.
explain the concept of a movie right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You mean documentary? Is
You mean
the-
a documentary?
Home Alone, my favorite documentary.
of the documentary of the child terrorist. Okay, so we get Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci in there for a little cameo. It's a lot of cameos. The writing's bad in this, so we're really leaning on the fact that people are gonna know who people are.
Yeah,
We're going for
that'll be
Marvel
fun.
style movie where every 15 seconds there is a pause put in for the crowd reaction to be like, "Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
them!" So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
audience, like,
Yeah,
in the
we'll
theater
have
will
like
cheer.
all the girls in this like do a girl boss murder.
Oh yeah, to a song.
to
I
a-
think when they all decide, they're like, "We're gonna do it." We need a montage of them getting ready to like paint the town red or something, like a Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Doja
Oh,
Cat's
yeah.
hot right now. Bitch, I said, but maybe it's a Kids Bop version.
Oh,
Yeah.
To allude,
And
it's
and
like
it's fantasy, which I said what I said.
Which I said what I said. I'd rather be stronger instead.
You know how it's bad for kids to think about fame?
Yeah.
I'd rather be...
She an elf. Wait, no. She a warlock. She a bad little fairy. She a warlock. She put her foot to the broom. She's gonna fly away and go boom. And then with their power, that's when they explode somebody.
Because once again, it's all fantasy.
Yeah.
Magic is real.
But we don't have to talk
But
about
we don't have.
it.
It's not like the biggest thing.
I don't just do powers. I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, I also think everyone should tend to themselves unless I need help.
It is careful about bringing libertarian into the whole children around thing too. We're going back to the children on children situation.
I don't want to bring libertarians around anybody, especially kids.
No, yeah.
But I do have to say, any world where purges happen, it's a libertarian world.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's a libertarian paradise.
That is the freest market.
That's where they're just like, you telling me that for 12 hours a year, I can just go murder and do whatever. And then all the other non-libertarians are like, or you could just steal from Wall Street. You could wipe out debt. They're like, so I could get a gun and kill people,
Children.
and children.
Yeah, no. The first thing they're thinking about is the fact that age of consent law goes out the window. That is a libertarian's wet dream.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on from that. But once again, we got Doja Cat. I think a lot of the songs. This is also how we really cut the budget down.
Yeah.
We Kids Bop versions.
Yeah, but our own Kids Bop versions.
But our own Kids Bop versions.
Yeah, because it's parody.
It's parody, so we don't have to really pay.
No.
I don't think Kids Bop pays a lot of money for anybody.
No,
Probably
trust
don't
me.
even pay the kids.
I've seen a lot of the music videos, and it's the same green screen they do it in front of.
It's just this. They just film the kids on like a different signature beat.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, just figure out what's the beat. Okay, we got that one.
Weird Al style, change it just enough for parody law.
Yeah.
Is all you really got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to pay nobody.
That's great. I love that. Even like the cool fantasy music can just be their voices be like,
All out of tune. None of them can sing. Yeah. Yeah, great. So we get the Daniel Stern, we get the Joe Pesci, because that's whenever he does the thing, and he's like, I got to call 2 old friends that really know what they're doing.
That's
Yes.
good.
He calls them up.
And what are they doing when he calls them up? Because they got to be in the middle of something.
Yeah, they're in the middle of stealing. They're some type of bandits again.
That's good, 'cause they can be.
Yeah. They're and there's like, oh, hold on, I gotta finish this. It's like going back to Marvel. It's like when they call Black Widow. And she's like, I'm in the middle of something. Can this wait? Hold on, and then let me girl boss my way out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
cool.
old white man boss.
Yeah, but they're 80-year-old men trying to break into a building.
men.
Yeah, they're just doing the Six Flags dance.
Yeah. The Six Flags guy is in a lot of the scenes. Not because we asked him to.
No, he's just there.
He's living on set.
Yeah, his grandchild's in the movie.
This is kind of a fun behind the scenes thing. He's living there. We can't get him away. He keeps just sneaking into set. We're not seeing him because I don't know who the director is, but they're not paying a lot of attention.
It's Greta Gerwig.
It's so
Greta Gerwig. It's Greta Gerwig. She's the director. It's her first fantasy movie ever, and she's really excited about it.
She's like, she's like talking about the scenery and how it's an homage to different films. And then they're like, now what about the Six Flags dancing, man? She goes, how do you get in there?
It's so hard to hear him coming with that loud music playing behind him everywhere he goes.
Well, they put the music in post, so
Yeah.
he's just doing the fucking jig. So he's highlighted a lot.
In post, is this a movie term that you're referring to?
Oh man, I forgot Zach didn't know what movies were.
Zach just thinks
What is in post?
We're describing a story right now that's happened for real. I like that you don't know what movies are, but you do know it to question the phrase in post.
He's thinking it's like
you're
a mail
dumb
post.
but aware.
Yeah.
Which is a
Damn.
dangerous combo, honestly.
Relatable. Relatable.
Okay, I think we got enough of the cameos, which is the core of the movie.
Oh, that's the majority
We
of it.
do need a bit of a storyline.
What?
Outside of... I'm just talking about really basic. We got
Okay.
30 minutes left.
Who's?
The kids are all right, so they're gonna get together their attack. They're gonna finally.
But do we need a protagonist kid?
We do need a protagonist kid. We need an every person kid that we can follow.
Jack Quaid
Jack Quaid.
from The Boys and
Immediately, I thought Boss Baby, but I forgot he's a cartoon.
No,
a cartoon.
Boss Baby.
Boss Baby in it?
It is Boss Baby.
I don't know.
Everyone else fully.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want Alec Baldwin to shoot anybody. So
You don't want to what?
I don't want Alec Baldwin to shoot anybody on set. So we might have to. Actually, you know what? originally we did cast Boss Baby, then, not to diminish the fact that someone really did get murdered on the film set of Rust.
Yes.
But that did happen. And we had to drop Boss Baby because Alec
That's
Baldwin
good.
was too.
That's good.
So that's why this movie's taken a while. It's been in
It's been
production
a
for a
long-
while. There's a lot of really big hang-ups in there.
Yeah.
Takes a long time to digitally edit the Six Flags guy out of the background of a lot of scenes.
Who was the kid you said?
Jack Quaid. Who
a
is
full adult man.
a full adult.
Oh, okay. Not a kid.
He's a Nepo
Adult.
Yes.
But it is for sure like 30 or 40.
Yeah. Father Randy Quaid.
Who's some of the good?
Who are kids?
Who's some of the good like Nepo kids right now? We got like the
They're all like adults. Like
Yeah.
Johnny Depp's daughter. Does he have a daughter?
Yeah,
What's her
Lily
name?
Rose Depp.
Oh, she's a full ass adult.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
all
She
in
was
a-
just in the what's the
The idol.
the Idol. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's the thing is you don't find out unless they have like the obvious last name like that. You don't find out until they already kind of made it.
Oh
That's
no!
we
You know
need
who
to-
it is? It's either Blue Ivy, Beyonce's kid,
Okay.
or Kanye West kid who just did a
North.
verse or Northwest. Those are children.
We need a little male female
That's your Marvel girl
I think they're both.
boss.
Are they? They're both girls.
whatever. Gender's fluid.
You're so fucking right.
That's
Stupid.
Yeah.
That's your girl boss moment.
That's
Yes.
so we got these two.
Oh, they can even sing.
This is that for a certain section of TikTok, that is the response of like the
So
Marvel
Blue
movies.
Ivy-
They're teaming up.
Blue Ivy and North.
Yes.
So we got, and then also
That's-
Kanye kept trying to put stuff in the script. It was
Yeah.
really hard.
Kanye's adding a lot.
There are some lines in it that
Yeah.
we as producers don't agree with.
Yeah,
And some
but
lines in Hebrew.
yeah, but let's just say he's given a lot of money to the movie, so
Yeah.
there will be a part where one of the characters that reigns, and someone's gonna go, "Oh, damn Jews." Okay?
Yeah.
But
We
that
didn't like it.
we didn't like it, but he gave us $100,000.
Everybody
Yeah.
during that scene on set was just like
Yeah.
la 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 la.
But
Yeah,
there's
we-
certain sacrifices we
yeah,
have to
but
make.
we did want money.
Yeah. And some lines in Hebrew, so it kind of cancels it out.
it-
The lines in Hebrew translate to "damn Jews" again. But
Yeah. He really snuck that in there. He goes, now this in Hebrew. And we're like, okay.
okay, we're not gonna translate.
And then someone's like, did anyone translate this? No? Great. Yeah, so these are our leads. We got North, we got Blue Ivy.
Great.
This is perfect. So they're about to go into Purge, semicolon, but for kids.
Yeah.
They're tired of it. Is there like an 8? So
There's
is this
Valkyries.
like, because we're in the Purge, we're not in Hunger Games. So this isn't like only a few kids get selected. Like it's a free for all.
It's everybody.
Kids versus
Yeah.
kids. Is there like a cutoff age limit, or are we talking like people are like throwing down versus toddlers, or is it like
Well,
you got to be 6?
The cutoff for kids is going back to that libertarian age. I'm not
This
gonna
is
lie.
for the
That's-
murdering of kids for each other.
Probably, I'm trying to think. Probably the babies like go somewhere and stay somewhere because
Yeah.
babies can't. Maybe they all put the babies in a room together and see.
Yeah.
There's just a gun. They put babies in a room with one gun.
Infant and toddler, I feel like
They see
get
what
like,
happens. And
The
most
baby gun room where it's just all babies.
and
going,
one gun in the middle,
gun.
and most of the time, all the babies come out. But
yeah,
a couple
it
times,
is loaded. The safety is on. Though.
Oh, okay, so you have to be sometimes. One time though, they talk about this every year. All the babies come out. One year, only one baby came out.
Yeah, and they're like, there was only
And that baby's Macaulay Culkin.
that's a third act reveal right
Perfect.
there.
Boom.
Uh,
And he feels a way about that. He's like, I've always been a killer ever
takes
since
off-
I was a
He
baby.
takes off his shirt. There's a tattoo of him with the baby, and the baby holding a gun.
He's like, ever since I was a baby, literally. And then when they did the flashback scene, when they discover it after he's killed all the babies, he's sucking on the gun like a nipple, like he's trying to breastfeed from
Yeah.
it, but manages not to
Saying
shoot
mama.
himself. Yeah, he's born a killer. Damn, this is gonna and Greta Gerwig's gonna be like, this is a take on abortion.
This is what I think about.
This is what I think about abortion.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're elves. Do we have to talk about it?
Okay, great.
I can't wait for the Ben Shapiro video essay on that one. That's gonna be an incredible breakdown.
This is gonna be hard for Ben Shapiro to take down though, because we're super pro gun and super child murder.
Yeah, he's gonna love it.
And the
The left has made being pro-gun actually very lame and for babies.
yeah, and he's also, but also we have two like strong female leads, who do a lot of murdering, and he's just like, why not white young men doing murders? Why is that not in the news anymore? I miss whenever we were glorifying these young white murderers going around because someone was mean to them one day, unlike all women and people of color that have it every day, and they don't kill people. Why can't we focus on that?
Ben Shapiro going, this movie isn't accurate because it's not a young white male killer.
Not a young white male killer. How can I identify with these?
True.
With these killers up here? They're not young. They're not rich. They're not white.
And elves are gay.
Elves are gay. I mean, that is kind of true. I think everyone's a little gay in this.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's not, and that's
especially the babies.
Especially but like he's like, God, we can't show a lot of the baby scenes. They're all super gay. They're not doing sex stuff, but they're all just reading each other and getting real snappy.
Yeah. They all have a fan.
So we got our two leads. We're killing it.
We're good.
We're just buying time.
It's kind of easy to write a movie.
Shark has been happy.
Shark has been happy this whole time. So I think we're doing good. So what is their journey though? Obviously, they're tired of killing other kids. I think they've been in the Purge a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I don't know how old they are in actual life, but I'd say they're probably like preteens in this.
No, they're like young.
They're like young.
They're like 8 or 9, 10 maybe.
So let's say this is like second or third Purge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Purge, semicolon, but for kids.
Thank you.
For them. So they've seen the horrors enough to like know this ain't great.
I think what propels them to go, the scene that propels them to go against adults is they're in a situation, they don't know the either one's like in a gym somewhere. They all have to kill, they kill everyone else. It would be nice if they had made this realization before they murdered like 15 kids, but that's just not what happened. That's the reality of the Purge.
That's not the movie we're making.
But for kids.
Purge, semicolon, but for kids.
So they get, maybe one of them's killing the other kid. You know those like little toys you get from like a gumball machine? It's like a little hand, it's sticky. And you throw, one of them's killed someone by that. They like hit it like directly in their eye and like, I can't see. And then they fall off like a cliff or something, but something in a gym. So they kill each other, and then there's like a knife on the ground, and they both reach for it, look up, realize it's each other, and they're like best friends in real life.
Oh, that's a previous one, or that's this one?
That's this one.
That's this one.
They pick up the knife. They both pick up the knife. They're looking at each other, and then they both we see a flashback of them as kids doing this handshake.
Yeah.
And we may see this decision of them throwing down the knife and then instead doing their little handshake. And they're like, no. And that's where they scheme the plan of
And just over North's shoulder in the background, you can see a little bus pull up, and the music starts playing in the Six Flags. Man jumps out and starts doing a little bit.
And then they kill him.
Yeah, they do kill him, but we shoot that scene like way later, so he's still in the other one. They kill him in real life too.
This was the final day of shooting.
This was the final day of shooting. Six Flags Dancing Man. There was a kill warrant.
May he rest.
Out for him on set. And also, it's like Kanye and Beyonce's kids, so they really can't get in legal trouble.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Like, they got a lot.
Pardoned.
Yeah, it's just like, well, they were messing with Greta Gerwig's film, and she is the current tastemaker.
Yeah, she is.
It was a very feminist male judge.
Yeah.
He has a daughter.
Yeah.
And after he had that daughter, he goes, maybe women are people.
Yeah. After he had that daughter, he was like, I gotta stop raping. I never realized it.
I never thought
until right now.
I never thought about it like that.
I'm looking at my daughter and I'm like, I would be very sad.
I would be sad.
I'd be a little peeved if that happened to her.
You know what? I'd be miffed.
I'd be miffed.
If someone did an assault on this child.
I would feel the same way when you order food and they get the food wrong and you have to wait a little longer to get it right. So
if I had to talk to a server about this.
I think I'm going to have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
So that's what will happen.
That's what will happen. That's in real life though.
That's in real life.
That's
but
real life.
That will be a lot of
what
press
do you mean,
for the movie.
buzz.
What do you mean in real life?
I keep forgetting about it.
I keep
forgetting. It's an interesting
real life.
choice of a co-host for a movie riff podcast, or where one of them doesn't get it. Great. So they were like in the Purge. They realized we gotta band
Team up.
together.
Yes.
And I think they're like, who's really facilitating this? all those fat cats, all the adults.
Fat cats in Washington.
All the
really?
fat cats in Washington, they're sitting there in their ivory towers.
Except you have to remember these are kids, so they say all those fat cats. Which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with being fat.
Yeah.
I'm a Republican.
Republican. So they realize it's the adults, pushing this narrative that kids need to kill kids, and it's for sure like I do think Hunger Games style, since adults are out of the fight, we are watching the Purge as it unfolds. Part of it is kind of silly because you're like, these kids don't understand how to do murder.
Yes.
And then there is part of it where you are like, but some of these kids are murdering.
Yes.
We've definitely let them grow up in a culture where we glorify violence and let, shootings happen at all time.
Yeah.
And no gun laws.
No. So some kids will be killing like that, but then you're right. We should have a lot of kids killing in very silly kid-like ways.
And that's a great idea. I think North and Blue Ivy, they're going to come up with a scheme where one of them is going to stay in front of the screens that the adults are watching, killing in very silly, kid ways.
Yeah,
So
silly murder.
Well,
I
it keeps
think-
them watching while the other one puts together a little team to go attack the adults. So
I think there should be a scene. I don't know if it makes sense, but I think there should be, when it's a montage of like the purge starting to happen, there should be a scene in a classroom where one of the their teacher is like, all right, guys, any other questions before we dismiss for the day? And then one of the kids raises their hand like, you forgot to assign the homework. And then another kid just shoots them in the head.
Oh, and it's like,
and then that's
click,
the starts of, and then like
clock
right
turns
before
Purge.
Mm-hmm.
then it's Purge.
Yeah.
That's the start of the Purge.
What is
but for kids.
What is like the time? Because it's 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going like a straight 12 to 12? Do we start in the morning?
I feel like it starts when school gets out. Like,
What time is school? So like
2:30.
2:30. So like 2:30 p.m., 2:30 a.m.
that's good.
Here's the.
I was going to say the different schools get out different, like middle school, elementary school, high school. That's like a real unfair advantage to
I think we
to
should
middle
do it
schoolers.
because younger kids get out sooner, right?
Yeah.
So they should get out sooner because they need that up. Because here's the thing, the Purge cutoff for participation is 17 or 18. So like 17 is the oldest. Once you're 18, you got to stop killing kids.
Because now you're just a freak.
Now you're just a fucking psychopath.
Oh, it's 2:29. I have to go put that gun in the room with all the babies. I almost forgot because it's homicide for the Purge, but for kids.
That's the sponsor of the Purge every year is just the gun companies that put the guns in the baby room.
And Greta will be like, yeah, good. This is saying a lot about gun control.
This is it's very nuanced, the fact that gun makers sponsor the Purge and put it in there. You can use other guns during it, but it's just the baby gun rooms.
Yeah.
They send out baby guns to every county and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And
you have a gun for the baby.
I like the idea of absolutely zero subtlety of the gun maker putting the gun in the classroom with the kids and then immediately turning around to Macaulay Culkin and be like, thank you for the money for putting the gun in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Greta's press interview, she goes, this movie about gun control is serving cunt.
It's also about abortion, by the way.
And abortion. If you cared. And yeah, they're elves, but can we please stop talking about it?
They're elves.
Good.
That's his fantasy.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And the guns, also magic wands.
Yeah, but we don't have to keep talking about it.
Yeah, did you
They're
realize?
also bisexual.
Yeah.
Did you realize something about all the elves? No, I didn't think so. Point made.
Yeah. I do think at one point, though, there has to be, like, a full-on spellcasting thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that people are like, the prophecy that's been foretold. And I really want the audience to be like, what? And we're like, oh, we filmed 30 minutes of this, but we had to cut it all because Dancing Man, Six Flags Dancing Man, full nude in the background of all of it.
Yeah.
We couldn't use any of it. It broke a lot of set laws due to the fact we do have some minors on screen.
Some exclusively
Minors, and we're talking like full beehole out, just dick and balls. Somehow, just
Old balls too.
too.
So low to the ground.
So that's terrible.
Gravity, I'll be
Just
honest,
swang.
unfortunately.
So we had to cut out all of the exposition about the Chosen One storyline,
Yeah.
all the spell work, that's all cut on the cutting room floor.
But they have the ears and they have some other
they have
stuff.
the ears.
they
They
do.
have that.
I hear you. You're saying why didn't you just do reshoots? Well, we were a year over.
What's it?
and
We cast Boss Baby.
Yeah.
We had to cut Boss Baby.
Yeah,
We
that already
got-
put us behind.
We
We
are
got Blue Ivy and North.
several-
You make a movie.
Several
Here's the
$1 million
thing. We were
over
honestly
budget.
about to fold after the Boss Baby fiasco, but then Blue Ivy and North came on, and then we got the buzz back.
Yeah.
We got some more investors.
Yeah, we just had to put in a couple lines of
Couple-
anti-Semitic
It's
rhetoric.
Yeah, and it wasn't our choice.
No,
but
no.
you know what? When you have a movie idea, you can't back down.
And
What? What idea?
A documentary. When you want to tell a story
Thank
in
you.
real time,
Yeah.
that's actively happening,
Thank you.
and all of it's real.
Now I'm with you.
All right, we have 15
15.
minutes. Okay, I feel like we have our beginning.
Yeah, we have the beginning. We have a lot of cameos. This
We
is
kind
how
of
they
have-
write Marvel movies.
We
I feel
kind of,
like.
I know, honestly, I'm like, we're writing this.
Yeah.
Do we have the end? Do we have the end?
I think so. Are they mad at Macaulay Culkin? Because I know we talked about him a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin's the
thing,
puppet master
so-
because he was the baby. When he was the baby that
Yeah,
killed all
hurt
the
people,
babies,
hurt people.
they made him. They were like, they got passed on to him. Like he was the one that's been running this, so he's the only one that
Ooh.
can stop it. But his reason is like, we have to run it. This is how same thing. This is how we maintain order.
I was raised like this. Why should anyone have a better childhood than me?
Yeah, I from the second I was
Let's actually double
a
student loans.
child,
Yeah.
I murdered so many babies.
When I go to sleep, I see murdering babies.
He was like, I shouldn't have been even able to pick up the gun. It weighed just as much as me.
Y'all seen Dexter? I was like that baby, but instead of watching my mom get murdered, I killed a bunch of other babies.
And he
And
says
then-
this in the movie.
And then
he says, "Hey, Elf, have you seen that TV show Dexter?
show
It used to be really
Dexter.
popular."
And then also, like in Dexter, we do a cut back to when Macaulay Culkin is a kid, and it's him, no age makeup, just wearing a longer wig. And he's the baby. He's in a little diaper and a
Yeah.
longer wig, and
in
he's
this
picking up
world,
the gun.
in the world of this film, Dexter is also a show.
Yes.
They're not elves in Dexter.
No, they're
because
people.
in Purge, but for kids, all media is just like non-fantasy magical.
I like that.
Yeah, because
So-
you gotta have a bit of
Yeah, you
realism.
need some real-
fantasy and fantasy is just normal.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes. So Greta. So let's say at this point,
What a point Greta Gerwig has made.
Greta's making a lot of
she's
points.
really going off on this one.
Greta says it's also about the wildfires in Hawaii. It's not my fault if you can't see it. So they get through our two protagonists, Northwest and Blue Ivy. They have, they're done killing, but they've had to kill all these adults. They get these kids together. Some kids get lost along the way. Finally, to make it to Macaulay Culkin, to where he's hiding off, because they either need to convince him to end it, they need to kill him, which they really don't want to. Or they need to tell him you have to stop the purge forever, and maybe there he reveals a secret of why he can't stop the purge and what has to happen instead.
Ooh. There's like
Some-
there's like a little he's being controlled, like he's the figurehead, but there's more to it than just him.
Or it's like it's either this or something else. Yeah, or something's.
You don't want to know what I'm saving you from.
Yeah, or they think he's the one in charge, but it's really not. He's just having to be the face of it, because everyone would believe he's the face of it because he killed a room of babies when he
Yeah.
was but
Yeah.
a wee little
I
lad.
was gonna say that's the perfect time for the big reveal. It's like, you think I want this? I was a baby killing. I've been doing this my entire
Yeah.
life. There's bigger things at play.
In
Yes.
his head, he was just picking up a binky and trying to share it with his friends,
and
and then he accidentally shot and murdered a room of other babies.
then sucked on it like a teat.
yeah, because he was scared. That's why we have him stuck on the teat,
Yeah,
the gun teat.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so the big reveal. So they get there. They're like, you have to stop it. They
I
have
like how
a-
we completely skipped the second act.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Let's get. We get the
So
second.
yeah, it's a bunch of them. Like I,
I
said,
feel like they're killing
There's a
kids.
lot of murder in the second
No, so
act.
that's like distracting them.
They
Blue
meet-
Ivy distracting
meet
while
other
North
kids.
goes around the back and works their way through.
Yeah.
You get raid redemption
I think
style
we get
of
a lot
toddler
of-
They
fighting.
killed her creepy
we
janitor
get a
or
lot
something.
of current day YouTube child stars.
Yeah.
That's what, because we want this. We already have all the stuff for the parents. We got Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
We got Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci. That's what the parents want.
Yeah.
We got Cole Sprouse being killed in the beginning. So all it's a lot of them running around different fight and death scenes.
And there's a scene where what's the big TikTok girl's name? The first huge one. like dances.
Charlie D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio kills Mr. Beast. with her bare hands, and they're like, Charlie, you don't have to do this, and she's like, I know. And then she dances on his grave.
And to really make it for children, the entire time the movie is playing, there's another screen right underneath it with Temple Run going on.
Oh, the whole movie has Temple Run.
Yeah, during any of the killing scenes, Temple Run's next to it.
If you don't want to watch this, look down. Yeah. She kills Mr. Beast for sure. Teams up with Blue Ivy and North, then later does have to sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
Because she realizes there was 100 people put in a room and another 100 people put in a room, and Mr. Beast had the key. So she's pretty much she's just signed them off to death.
Yeah.
So she has to sacrifice herself to make up for the fact, not of killing Mr. Beast, but effectively killing 200 people that are now gonna not be let out.
And her last words before she sacrifices herself are, God, I hope this helps my PR. Anything for my image.
And she doesn't dance.
And a fun fact, because Greta Gerwig is so method, they did actually kill Mr. Beast on set.
Yeah, Mr. Beast died, but then that's when we find out Mr. Beast is just part of a conglomerate. It's just a bunch of average-looking white men who do weird semi-social psychological experiments on poor people.
Yeah.
And they just put another one in there.
Yeah, no one can even tell the difference.
Mr. Beast is interviewing Cole Sprouse in the beginning of this.
That's the connection.
That's the
connection.
Well, that's...
So yeah, second act kind of just meanders.
We did it. Yeah, we did it.
There's they get a couple other helps, and I think it's really easy for people to understand that they just don't want to be forced to kill each other necessarily.
Yeah, they're done with this.
They're done with this. However, a lot of white younger men love the Purge.
Yeah, they're like, that's so weird.
They're
Purge,
pro-Purge.
but for kids.
Purge, semicolon, but for kids. And what a lot of people don't like about this film is that they do constantly say the full...
Yeah.
Because, like, it is fun whenever a movie, they say the title of the movie.
So fun.
But in this, they do constantly say, God, I can't believe we're in the Purge, semicolon, but for kids again. It's like every year, Purge, semicolon, but for kids happens to us.
We see it all over the world, and everyone's saying it in different languages. Mi amo, Purge, but for kids.
My name is the Purge.
I don't know any Spanish. I don't know any
I
other
like
languages.
You went for it, though.
I had to.
And that's the spirit of this movie.
Yeah.
Not knowing or having any right to
I have no regrets.
so, and boldly pushing forward.
No regrets.
Yeah.
Because it communicated, and this is what Greta Gerwig would say. Because that in the movie, they will say, Mi amo, Purge, but for the kids. And Greta will be like, we didn't have the time or money.
I thought about getting some consultants on here, but honestly... So much of the budget went to security to stop the dancing Six Flags man.
And Greta's like, that's a commentary.
Keep going.
That's a commentary on U.S. relations.
Yeah, there we go.
And how we perceive. That's a commentary on Trump saying those shithole countries.
Yeah.
He did it, not me.
And me trying...
Oh, but I'm a woman.
Me trying to kill... Six Flags Dancing Man. That is, and also it's a lot of it it's a lot of behind the scenes features, which we'll say that, and a lot of our audience, which is children, won't realize what that means because they don't really buy physical media anymore.
No,
and so they don't really know about DVD extras
bloopers
or Blu-rays or stuff like that. But yeah. I think it's we got 7 minutes.
Okay, we gotta end this.
We gotta wrap it up. So yeah, they face down Macaulay Culkin.
There's a reveal.
He's like, you don't
what
even
are his
know.
kids doing in this, by the way? Because we did say his kids are in this. Are they just kind of in it as like two weird little freak kids?
I think they're just a part of the Purge.
They're just part of the Purge.
They're just like a part of the gang, like the Stranger Things gang.
What if?
Okay.
We have to have because reveal that Macaulay Culkin, they team up with Blue Ivy and North. What is yours?
My reveal was going to be, he's like, you think it's me doing this? And then
fuck!
behind a wall, it's them.
Like fucking secret hidden patches wall turns.
They're the ones that want to keep
and
the Purge
they're physically
going.
Pulling wires, and then we see the whole time Macaulay Culkin's
like, oh my God.
an actual
Like, we didn't even realize you had strings on you the whole time.
No baby actually survived that room. Macaulay Culkin's been a puppet, a lifeless puppet the entire time.
He's a dead man.
Did y'all ever see
Weekend at Bernie's?
Did y'all ever see Tom Cruise's The Mummy?
Yeah.
Flawless cinema. No notes. especially because the opening scene.
One of my favorite documentaries.
The opening scene, you're like, I love Egypt.
Yeah,
I did my whole report on that. I constantly got F's in school. So in the documentary of Tom Cruise's The Mummy, the opening scene, they flash back to it, I think, 5 times.
It's so good.
Which is
So
great.
you don't forget.
You don't forget, and you also, it saves money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we do like so many baby death flashbacks with Macaulay Culkin, and they all change a little bit. And then, it's also really fun to have an unreliable narrator.
And did you hear Zach's suggestion? What we realized at the end was all of the babies were dead. Macaulay Culkin, we find out, has been a dead body.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the final flashback is that he also... Because then all we ever see is him sucking on the gun
It just
teeth.
stops. It stops there.
Fucking blows the brains.
We don't realize the end somehow, but somehow that body managed to still grow. Because they did that. They it's fantasy.
It's fantasy.
They use spells
That's the spell.
to have his body grow, but he is dead. And finally,
But they're also more than that. We don't have to talk about the fantasy.
then we realize when they realize that he's been a dead person this entire time on strings. Then we finally realize there's like flies going around his mouth.
It's just kind of like, why did we never notice that before? And then somehow this is movie magic, because then when you do the rewatch, you do see all of those things there.
You do notice the entire time he picks up things like this and sits like this
It's like, hello, Joe Pesci.
in the chair. Oh my god! I can't believe I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. So yeah, his kids, they've been behind.
How are they born?
Time.
We don't know.
See,
How do they exist? Fantasy.
We don't talk about it.
Fantasy.
I'm sorry. Can you not wrap your head around the fact that some kids are just existing and they weren't born?
It's
okay, boomer.
And that's a commentary on the Vietnam War.
And that's a commentary on something called generational trauma.
Yeah. So.
Okay, look it up, boomer.
Sometimes you walk into a field and there's 2 children that are mandolining their not father to be a figurehead for mass genocide.
Yeah. I'm protecting you with the Purge, but for kids.
Yeah.
All right, so they face up. They get this big reveal that Macaulay Culkin this entire time has been a bag of bones, basically. They face up to the kids.
So
this is that we got 340 left. This is the hard part. They were ready to kill Macaulay Culkin. He's an adult. They were done killing other kids. However, now to end the Purge but for kids, they have to. That's right. Kill kids.
Oh.
Do they do it?
And maybe that's a question for the second movie.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. We see Blue Ivy and North hold up their sponsored guns because they took him from Baby's room because they were like, we really shouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's a point where they look directly in the camera like, we really shouldn't be letting babies kill babies. Because
most of the time they don't. Most of the time they just
don't.
snap.
So they get the baby guns, and then you just see them like holding them up, and then you just Soprano style, you hear the bang, but it's like cut to black.
Post credit scene, they are so confused about what to do. They have to go blow off steam. So what they do is they go into the other room and they beat to death Cole Sprouse, who's in the middle of an interview, which was the beginning of the movie. 12 hours earlier, we go back to that's the post credit scene.
And possible sequel movie. They do kill them. They become the new starters of the Purge.
Really confusing because Mr. Beast is interviewing Cole Sprouse, and we saw him die earlier.
It's fantasy.
Never mind. It's fantasy. Also, we already said there's like little doppelganger beast.
But for Cole Sprouse in interviews, it's not about the person interviewing him. He's just gonna keep going. He just keeps smoking cigarettes
we
and
get the
answering
reveal that Mr. Beast is dead during the
Yeah, the same thing, and he uses his wine. That happens a lot in this world.
There's so much Weekend, and they're like, and that's a commentary on I loved Weekend at Bernie.
Yeah, and that's just an ode to a film I love.
Yeah, that's her ode to Weekend.
Oh, I'm not allowed to do that?
A woman.
Oh
my God!
Greta
Gerwig's
Gerwig's favorite documentary.
Go ahead and let's go ahead and stop the clock with 1 minute and 41 seconds left.
We did it.
All right,
That was a
we
good.
landed the plane.
Let's see what the producer
Come
feels
on,
like.
Sharks.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Kind of really undecided there.
I think we just. Here's the thing though. At Riff Tank, we don't green light. We blue light.
Just like my glasses.
She was pitching that the whole time before.
This is all things in an
was just like,
advertisement.
I've been really. I got these new glasses. They
So at
really
the
help
end,
with screen time.
You can help me out a
I've
little
been
bit.
trying to. If you can set me up for it.
If we're doing plugs, I am sponsored by Ozempic, so I just wanted. I was told contractually I have to put that in this podcast at some point.
Jealous.
Ozempic. Don't love the way you look. It's a problem.
Don't love the way you look.
Great. Yeah. So this is the first episode of Riff Tank. Starting off strong with Purge, but for kids.
Yeah.
I think our producer, the Shark. I realized just now I should have come up with a funny name for the Shark, but that's not my. I'm here to make up movie ideas and to stop the Six Flags man from jerking off in the back of films.
And he loves to do that.
Will not stop.
It's fun fact. You can see him in the back of Taxi Driver.
It's really crazy to let him keep the bus to keep pulling up to different places.
You know how they say that in the back of Wizard of Oz, you can see all the people like the guy hanging himself. It's just that dude jerking off. It's just... All right, great. Yeah, this is it. This has been the first episode of Riff Tank, where we came up with Purge, but for kids. I think we made the producer happy because I turned this reversible plush toy
I love it.
outside. This is a representation of the producer. We have to go really run this idea up the actual ladder.
Yeah.
But I'll let my two co-hosts do some plugs of where you can find them. So Tamara, start it off.
So yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Tamar Rubin 69.
Nice.
Post all my show dates on there. Come see me live, please.
Don't you have a podcast you do?
Oh my God, I do. And you know what? I was waiting for you to say that for me to plug it. I also have my own podcast called co-hosted with Katie Hughes called The Friggin' Show. So find that wherever you get your podcasts.
You can follow me on Instagram at Zach W Comedy, Zach with an H, CACH. I'll be at the West End Comedy Festival in Atlanta at the beginning of February 2nd and 3rd. I'll be opening for the hilarious Shane Torres. That'll be super fun. And then also, you can just tweet at me whatever you want, and I will respond. I have a lot of free time. So go ahead. Also, Zach W Comedy.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm Joel Ruiz. I am the proprietor of Do You Validate Series. I don't know what I just did there.
The proprietor.
I'm the proprietor. So I have a bunch of other podcasts. Audio Roadshow, Critical Bits, which are actual play podcasts. There's this. Speaking of Riverdale, I do have a Riverdale fan cast called Jingle Jangle.
Hell yes.
You can check all that out. Just go follow us at Do You Validate on Twitter. I think there's some underscores between the words. Follow us on Instagram. There's all that stuff. I would like to thank our producers, our two executive producers, Blue Rider. These are actual producers for our Patreon. Blue Rider and Andrew Harper, as well as our associate producers, Luke Holt and Beerus. Y'all helping keep the lights on. If you want to be able to submit ways that we will die, which we hopefully avoided, and prompts for the show, go become a Do You Validate Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/doyouvalidate, and you get a lot of extras there. All of the shows under the Do You Validate network are under one Patreon. And that's it. This has been Riff Tank. Thank you so much for coming out, and we'll see you at the movies that this is going to be at.
The what?
Okay, anyway, so what movies are?
This show is part of the Do You Validate network.